Recently, I've been making a lot of character sheets for myself, just so that I have a good reference whenever I draw my characters. So I thought, why didn't I make a video about this? Because I feel like if I had something like this in the past, that would have helped me a lot whenever I made it. Because you can make a character sheet however you like, but having a nice sort of vague guidelines definitely sort of speeds up the process of making it instead of, staying confused. And with that out of the way, let's get into it. So I've split this video up into around 5 sections, starting with the purpose. So the purpose is what you actually want the sheet for. Is it for an animation, a comic, a reference for other artists? Is it for your VTuber? Is it just for yourself? Do you want to show off the fashion of the character? What do you want to showcase about this character? And what is this character sheet needed for? For example, if it's needed for animation, then you'd usually have a 360 of the character. If it's needed for a comic, an artist might break down the character's outfit so that you can see all the layers under them. Or you'd have notes on the character sheet, or you'd have their weapons, their occupation, or little more details about them. And if you're doing a reference for other artists, again, you might have a 360, or you might have something about their personality in there as well. Here's a couple of examples of what I mean. As you can tell, some of these character sheets have 360s, a lot of them have color swatches, so you can pick out the flat colors from that and do what you will whenever another artist is drawing them. Some of them have different outfit references or different details for the outfits, and some of them are made with a different purpose in mind, like just to showcase the weapon or just to showcase that character in action. Your character sheet can be as simple or complex as you like. Like I said, it depends on what you need it for and what you're going to use it for, but generally you can make the character sheet however you like. There's no rules on that. So now that we've established what you're making it for, we can move on to the setting. What world does your character live in? What kind of clothes or items would they have access to? What role do they play in that world? Are they a fighter? Are they a mage? Are they just a regular modern person? Are they a creature? Maybe they're not human. Are you humanizing a creature? Like you're turning a Pokemon into a human? What are their interests? And if they're not an important person in that world, then what things in their life influence what they wear and what they have? And how does the setting influence the colors that they have as well? In a more maybe medieval setting, a traditionally medieval setting, you'd have more earthy tones, more darker colors. In a more fantastical setting, you'd have more bright colors, more vibrancy, more, fantastical or magical elements in there as well. The setting is very important towards your character's outfits, towards the items that they use, if they have any weapons, and towards what you might even want to showcase for that character. If that character is a mage, or if they're a fighter, you'd want to showcase obviously them in their entirety, but maybe them using their abilities as well, or any weapons that they might use. After we've established the setting, it's a good idea to go look for some inspiration, and I'm sure a lot of you are quite familiar with that. So that means finding references, making Pinterest boards if you want, saving references, finding fashion similar to what you want to incorporate into your character. You might want to make mood boards. I don't usually make mood boards, but they can still be quite helpful if that works for you. If you want to sort of get into the brain of your character, mood boards might be very helpful for you. You can also take inspiration from other characters as well, if that artist is obviously okay with it. Though I would strongly recommend sticking to characters found in bigger media forms if you're taking any inspo. And always keep in mind that inspiration means inspiration. That doesn't mean copying someone else's character, because this is meant to be your character, not anyone else's. It's not someone else's homework with a couple of phrase changes. You gotta use your own creativity for it. And that's why making this in the first place is so rewarding. It's also okay to start off unsure about where you want to draw inspiration from. You can always build upon these ideas over time. You can brainstorm them, or you can figure it out as you go. You can start off really simple. A lot of my characters started off from a really simple concept. Like one of my oldest characters, Scarlet, she started off just, I don't know, I just wanted to make like an interesting character. I made her a half orc, half elf, and yeah, I just slapped on any outfit that I thought a rogue would wear at the time. Mind you, I was 13, so my field of reference wasn't very particularly big. But over time, she's definitely evolved into a much stronger character, I think, and she's long overdue for a character sheet. At the end of the day, you should just figure things out at the pace that feels comfortable for you, and don't forget your own creativity in the mix, basically. Now that we have all of those out of the way, we can get on to actually starting. So this means starting off with the sketch and the process for making it. I strongly recommend planning out what you want to showcase in your sheet beforehand, and this can be through extremely rough sketches. So this means considering all of the previous points and just sort of getting things down on the page. They don't have to look like people, they don't have to look at whatever you're doing a character sheet for. They just need to be there. They just need a place on your canvas. Just sketch it out. And then you can figure it out from there. Like I said, consider what this particular sheet is for. It's extremely important if you're showcasing certain elements of your character where you're placing them for visual clarity, and then you just basically go for it. So making a character sheet, like I said, there's no distinct select formula. You kind of just figure out your own flow as you go. There's no pressure to make it perfect or to make it one way or the other, but if it helps at all, I find it nice to do a front, side, and back view of my character, just because sometimes I'm a little bit inconsistent, especially with my side view of how I draw them, because I don't draw it that way as often. So that definitely helps. It also helps if I have little items or objects on there, something that my character might use in their day-to-day, a little breakdown of the outfit, nothing too crazy, but just enough so that I know if I ever want to draw them differently, I could always just change up the outfit slightly. You can have different iterations, different fashion choices. You can put a jacket over them if they'd wear one or not. You can have color swatches, which are pretty popular in 99% of character sheets, just because I think they're quite useful, especially if you're drawing your character again or if someone else is drawing it. Just having the flat colors, it's so much easier to color pick from there than trying to find the flat value from the actual character sheet. For me, I also like to write a little bit of my characters into the sheets, like their personalities, what they're doing, a little explanation of them. In some cases, I've gone a little bit overboard and there's a lot of writing on there, but I've tried to keep it enough so that it's informative, but not so much that the whole thing is full of text. Just so that if anyone does want to read my character sheet, then they understand what's on there and they understand the character to a basic degree. It's hard to put all the information that you want on one character sheet, so it's okay to make multiple for one character. You don't have to stick to one and cram all the information into one. You can always make another one to showcase something else about them, to showcase their abilities, maybe different clothes that they want to wear, or to just sort of add in more writing snippets about them if you want. At the end of the day, it's all about just going for it, practicing, seeing what works for you, seeing what you like, seeing what you want to show from your character, and expressing that in your drawing. So if we recap, basically all that we're doing to make one is considering the purpose, considering the setting, the inspiration, and then just going for it. I think particularly the most important bits are the purpose and the setting of your character sheet, because that'll sort of communicate the most about your character. Like I said, what you want the sheet for and what world the character exists in. Otherwise, everything else, you can honestly just wing it and see what happens. At the end of the day, you'll only start making the stuff you like by trying it out in the first place. So you don't have to think too hard about it, just go for it. It's your sheet, it's your character sheet. You can have whatever the hell you want on it, or whatever you don't want on it. You don't have to include either. So just have fun with it. And just an extra note, I know it's been a little bit of a period of time between this video and my last one just because I've been getting so busy, but I'll try and keep a more regular schedule. I keep saying this, but I'm trying. I'm really trying. I have a bigger project in the works right now, which is also why I'm so busy, but you'll see that at some point in time, and I hope you all enjoy it. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.